Hey, it's Warren for Home and Garden from Mere Mortals here. Today I'm going to show you how easy it is to make your own vegetable garden. What we've got here, we've got a raised garden bed. The raised garden bed is probably the best way to do a veggie garden. You're lifting everything up, so you're going to get better drainage, you're going to have less fungal problems, you're also going to have less insect attack and things like that as well. It's a little bit harder for them to get into. So the first thing I want to do is just improve my soil. So what I've got here is some mushroom compost. So I'm going to put some mushroom compost over the top, and I'm going to work that in. You don't have to use mushroom compost. You can use cow manure, you can use your own compost. You just want to get some organic material into the soil to help improve it. So we'll start by opening these up and spreading it out and mixing it in. Okay, so what I've done now is I've mixed in the mushroom compost, and I've raked it all so it's nice and level. I also got some wetting agent granules, and I've mixed that into the soil as well, because this soil is a little bit old, and you know, if soils are allowed to dry out, they can become what's called hydrophobic, so they'll repel water. So you'll kind of see it. You'll put some water on it, it'll kind of sit on the top, or it'll run off, or it won't absorb into the ground properly. So the next step is I've just got some slow release fertilizer. It's just a matter of just spreading that out. So now we've improved the soil and we've got it ready to go. The next thing we want to do is protect it. So the best way to do that is a mulch. A mulch is one of those must things that you have. You can't go without it, I think. I often use a lucerne hay because it does have some beneficial properties as well for the soil, with nitrogen fixation and things like that. But they were sold out, so what I've got is some pea straw mulch, which will do the job, but you can also use sugarcane mulch, hay, whatever, as long as you're protecting the soil. So what it's going to do, it's going to keep the soil at an even temperature. It's going to reduce drying out, so you don't have to water as often, and it will reduce the stress on the plants because they don't have to go through that. And you want to just spread it out, 75 mil, 3 inches, something like that. That's all you need. We'll just spread that out through the garden bed, and then we can just plant straight into it. For the little punnets, it's just a matter of pulling them apart, like so. Just be gentle, not to break them up too much. Just grab a little trowel, tiny little hole, stick them in, and just firm the soil up around them. That's what you have to do, and then just bring the mulch up to it. Don't bury it under the mulch. When planting, another thing you want to watch out for is these roots here. You can see how they're all sort of bound up on the bottom. What you want to do is just go through and just tease them all out. If you don't tease them all out, they'll want to just stay in this shape, and your plant won't grow very well. So same again, just tuck him in. And there you go, that's all done. We've planted out. I've got some celery and capsicums, some other bits and pieces in here. So starting your own veggie garden is a pretty simple thing. All you got to do is improve the soil, raise the garden bed if you can, some mulch just to lock in the moisture and stop evaporation and keep the temperature even. But apart from that, it's not too hard. The last thing we've got to do is water in the plants. So that's always my favourite bit of any planting job. One very important thing that you are doing when you're watering in, you're not just giving the plant water to survive. You also need to water in and make sure you close any air gaps. So say when you plant your plants, particularly bigger pots, maybe not so much with these seedlings, but you might have the soil wall here from the hole, and then you might not get good contact with the root ball, and you'll get a little air gap, and there's no way that the roots can jump that air gap. So what you need to do is make sure you water in really well to close all those air gaps and seal it all in, and your plants will thrive. So while I've got my apprentice watering in the garden, another thing to remember is these little guys will need water once or twice a day, depending on how hot it is in your area. Probably twice a day here because we're quite hot, for the first week or so, just to establish them. Thanks, I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If you've got any questions, please post them below, or if you want to know anything else about plants and nurseries and how things function, also post that below, and we'll get to those if we can. Thanks.